Israel. Snap your fingers, snap them. Snap your fingers, snap them. All of Israel. Snap your fingers, snap them. Ain't nobody greater, ain't nobody greater. You say that you love him, but you won't even keep his laws to save your life. You say that you need him, but when problems arise, you try to solve it your way. Yeah. You say that you wanna go back with him. I know that that's a fact, but what is the use when you won't serve him? I advise you to serve the Lord right now. The Most High is the best, best, best. Ain't nobody greater. We'll help you through your test, test, test. Ain't nobody greater. He's your God, oh yeah. He's his heart. When problems knock you down, so please, please just remember this. Ain't nobody greater. You say that there's nothing wrong with breaking God's laws. You say that there's nothing wrong, and nothing bad will happen to you. But don't you know if you don't repent? But don't you know? But don't you know you're gonna die? But don't you know you're gonna die? But don't you know? But if you repent, but don't you know to save your life? But don't you know you're gonna rise? The Most High is the best, best, best. Ain't nobody greater. We'll help you through your test, test, test. Ain't nobody greater. He's Lord God, oh yeah. He's his heart. When problems knock you down, when it gets hard, so please, please just remember this. Ain't nobody greater.
Shalom and good evening to everyone. I'm Machaz and the Amihud of the tribe of Judah. I am the chief ambassador of the Second March to Exodus movement. I would like to welcome you all to the Second March to Exodus Movement Conference, which is held each Tuesday and Thursday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. The Most High willing, Most High you're willing. Before we get started, I would like to give all praises to the Most High, Ahaya, Be'ashem Yeshaya, Ha Messiah, Wa Ruach, Kadash, and to say a prayer to bring us into the Second March to Exodus Conference. Fill us with your Holy Spirit, O Most High, and help us that we may keep untarnished the hope of the second advent of Yeshaya, Messiah. Prosecutions, afflictions, hardships, and disappointments are the textbooks of your schoolroom by the side of your psalms of joy, peace, service, and triumph. With your commandments for our redemption, you bound your blessings for our glory. Your forgiveness of our sins and your indwelling in us of your Holy Spirit have made us a member of your household. Grant unto your servants boldness, both in your prayer and speech. Guide us that we may care to obey you above all teachings of men, and that we may know about out of our own experience that there is no other name under heaven that is given among men whereby we must be saved, but the blessed name of Yeshaya, which is the word, and to whom be the glory and dominion forever. So be it. Okay, after I'm done speaking, I will be opening the mic for questions. Please raise your hand by tapping on the word more and the three dots at the bottom of your screen, and then tap the raise hand button. Okay, you all may want to get a pencil and a pen and paper to take down notes. It's going to be another night of a great information given. Genesis chapter 49, verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet. According to Psalms chapter 60, verse 7, and Psalms chapter 108, verse 8, Judah is the Most High, Ahaya's lawgiver. And that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing the law, not only biblical law, but the law of man. John chapter 8, verse 32, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Tonight's topic is how biblical Israelites are murdered with impunity by code enforcers, and lawsuits are filed against Israelites by code enforcers and prosecutors in their so-called federal, state, regulated, incorporated, Black and or African American, etc. status under their European slave names. Some of us Israelites claim to be awake and in the truth, but are still allowing ourselves to be prosecuted in so-called federal and state regulated, incorporated, Black and or African American, etc. status under European slave names. There are two ways a lawsuit can be filed against a sovereign Israelite dual American national republic. One, by a corporate police code enforcer by way of a traffic ticket in disguise of our fictional federal and state regulated, incorporated, Black and or African American, etc. status and European slave names. Or two, by a prosecuting attorney by way of an indictment from a grand jury in disguise of our fictional federal and state regulated, incorporated, Black and or African American, etc. status and European slave names. However, tonight's discussion will be focused on how biblical Israelites are murdered with impunity by code enforcers, and lawsuits are filed against Israelites by code enforcers. Lawsuits by way of a traffic ticket. We shall follow up with a lawsuit being filed by a prosecuting attorney by way of an indictment from a grand jury on Tuesday, November the 5th at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, let us begin. So, what is the definition of a traffic ticket? I was unable to find the definition for a traffic ticket as a whole in the Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition. So since I couldn't find traffic ticket in the Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition, I decided to separate the two words. According to Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition, the definition for traffic is commerce, trade, dealings, and merchandise, bills, money, and the like. You truck drivers, you brothers and sisters should know about commerce. What is the definition for commerce? According to Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition, the definition for commerce is intercourse by way of trade and traffic between different peoples or states and the citizens or inhabitants thereof, including not only the purchase, sale, and exchange of commodities, but also the instrumentalities and agencies by which it is promoted, and the means and appliances by which it is carried on, and the transportation of persons, as well as of goods, both by land and by sea. Commerce comprehends intercourse for the purposes of trade and in any and all its forms, including the transportation, purchase, sale, exchange of commodities between the citizens of our country and the citizens of subjects or subjects of other countries, and between the citizens of different states. The power to regulate it embraces all the instruments by which such commerce may be conducted. Commerce is not limited to an exchange of commodities only, but includes as well intercourse with foreign nations and between the states, and includes the transportation of passengers. The words commerce and trade are synonymous, but not identical. So what is the definition for trades? According to Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition, the definition for trade is the act or business of exchanging commodities by barter, that's B-A-R-T-E-R, or the business of buying and selling for money. Traffic, notice that that we keep hearing the word traffic. Notice that we're talking about traffic here. We're talking about corporate of corporate code enforcers and traffic citations. So what we're talking about here is commerce. Commerce is talking about traffic. So the business which a person has learned and which lie carries on for procuring substance or for profit. Occupation, particularly mechanical employment, distinguished from the liberal arts and learned professions and from agriculture. Traffic, commerce, exchange of goods for other goods, or for money, all wholesale trade, all buying in order to sell again by wholesale, may be reduced to three sorts: the home trade, the foreign trade of consumption, and the carrying trade. Now, what is the definition for ticket? According to Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition, the definition for ticket is a contract. See? A slip of paper containing a certificate that the person to whom it is issued or the holder is entitled to some right or privilege therein, mentioned or described, such, for example, railroad tickets, theater tickets, pawn tickets. Okay, what is the definition for contract? According to Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition, the definition for contracts is an agreement upon sufficient consideration to do or not to do a particular thing. A covenant or agreement between two or more persons with a lawful consideration or cause. A deliberate engagement between competent parties upon a legal consideration to do or abstain from doing some act. A contract or agreement is either where a promise is made on one side and assented to on the other, or where two or more persons enter into agreement with each other by a promise on either side. A contract is an agreement by which one person obligates himself to another to give, to do or permit or not to do something expressed or implied by such agreement. A contract is an agreement to do or not to do a certain thing. Okay, first off, I would like to bring your memory to those that has been with us from the beginning of the conferences that we created, back to the first two conferences meetings we had on October the 17th. The first three conferences we had back on October the 17th, the 24th, and October the 29th. In those three conferences meetings, I explained to each of you that those of us that have gone through the Sovereign Israelite Declaration, Hebrew name, tribal identifications process, and received our Sovereign Hebrew Israelite automobile plates, our Sovereign Israelite dual American national republics, but not so-called sovereign citizens. We already know what sovereign citizen is. Sovereign citizen does not exist. You can't be a free, which is a sovereign, and you can't be a slave, which is a citizen. So being a sovereign citizen cancels itself out. You can't be both. You go be either or. In those three conferences meetings, I explained to each of you that those of us that have not gone through the Sovereign Israelite Declaration, Hebrew name, tribal identification processes, and received our Sovereign Hebrew Israelite automobile plate are considered federal and state employed, regulated, incorporated, Black and or African American, etc. slaves with governmental driver's license employed by the government, enforced by the corporate police code enforcers. In those three conferences meetings, I further explained to each of you, in order for there to be a crime, there must be a victim. According to Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition, and as I stated previously, the definition for traffic ticket is a contract. That means that the traffic the corporate code enforcers are enforcing are civil infractions that are not criminal in nature. Therefore, the corporate code enforcers are not enforcing lawful law with a victim. They are claiming that the state is the victim, when they give you a ticket in which you were stopped, but are enforcing legal corporate policies without a victim. In all reality, we are the victims of every stop or traffic stop made by a corporate code enforcer enforcing corporate policy. According to Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition, the definition for ticket is a contract, a slip of paper containing a certificate that the person to whom it is issued or the holder is entitled to some right or privilege therein mentioned or described, such, for example, as railroad tickets, theater tickets, pawn tickets. If the traffic ticket is a civil contract containing a certificate for the sovereign Israelite dual American National Republic, the corporate code enforcer is issuing it to by law, then why is the sovereign Israelite dual American National Republic told to go to court on a certain day or to pay a fine for an alleged crime where there is no victim? What we sovereign Israelite dual American National Republics are entering into when we are stopped by a corporate code enforcer are indeed contracts, as so-called federal and state regulated incorporated Black and or African Americans through European slave names. We are not entering into these traffic contracts voluntarily, but by force. If we refuse to enter into the civil traffic ticket contracts with the corporate code enforcers, we are being threatened and coerced with arrest and or are privately owned, not for hire, and non-commercial automobile being unlawfully towed. Therefore, instead of getting some right or privilege from the traffic ticket, the corporate code enforcer issued to us during the unlawful stop, the corporate code enforcer, prosecutors, and judges gets the right or privilege of having we sovereign Israelite dual American National Republics either appear in court or pay them a fee. We all have been brainwashed with the reverse reverse psychology. However, the Most High has given some of us the spirit of discernment of not only the Holy Bible, but the law of man as well. Some of us more profound than others. The Most High pleased with us, as he did in 1 Kings chapter 8, verses 47 through 50, saying, yet if they shall bethink themselves, meaning rethink who we are, that we are not a nation of so-called black people and or a nation of African Americans, etc., in the land whether they were carried captives, and repent for trying to be something that we are not, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely, we have committed wickedness, and so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, their dwelling place, and maintain their cause, and forgive thy people that have sinned against thee, and all their transgressions wherein they have transgressed against thee, and give them compassion before them who carried them captive, that they may have compassion on them. The Most High is telling us, if we come back to him, if we stop talking about we're so-called Black African Americans, all these bywords and proverbs and things of that nature, that he will hear us. So don't believe that the Most High is not in control of the murdering and everything else evil that is happening to we biblical Israelites that continue to claim that we are a nation of so-called blacks and our African Americans, etc. The Most High further pleads with us, Israelites, in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14, to reclaim our true nationality, and says, if my people which are called by my name, meaning Israelites, and not so-called blacks, African Americans, etc., shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land. What I speak may appear to sound like a foreign language and foolishness to not only those that are asleep, but also to some that claim to be awake Israelites as well, even to those who may think they know the law of man, but lack the spirit of discernment and will go against that which they don't understand. According to 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14, but the natural man, woman, receive not the things of the spirit of Ahia, for they are foolishness unto him and her. Neither can he, she know them, because they are spiritually discerned. Many Israelites claim to be awake, but still go to court as federal and state employed, regulated, incorporated, Black and or African Americans, etc., through their European slave names and have no clue what to do. According to James chapter 1, verse 8, a double-minded man, woman, is unstable in all her ways. So once a corporate code enforcer issue we as sovereign Israelite dual American national republics a traffic ticket, we are summoned to court. What is the definition for a summons? According to Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition, the definition for summons is to cite a defendant, to appear in court, to answer a suit which has been begun against him, to notify the defendant that an action has been instituted against him, and that he is required to answer to it at a time and place named. Notice that I said previously that that they issue out us a privilege, a certificate, and they tell us that that we got to report. If they issue us a traffic ticket, to tell us that we have to report to court. Either report to court or pay a fee. But if we refuse, then they arrest us. And now it's supposed to be a crime. Well, it's a crime. They say it's a crime anyway. We committed a crime. But notice I also said in the beginning that in order for there to be a crime, there must be a victim. So there's no victim. So a corporate code enforcer has issued we sovereign Israelite dual American national republics a traffic ticket, summons to court, and filed a lawsuit where there is no victim. According to Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition, the definition of a traffic ticket, and since we sovereign Israelite dual American national republics are entitled to some right or privilege therein, then we have a right to bring a counterclaim against the corporate code enforcers and anyone else for lack of standing, lack of real party and interest, lack of subject matter jurisdiction, lack of a personal proper persona jurisdiction, and for damages for indulging in this conspiracy, fraud, and of operating ultra-virus jurisdiction. What is the definition for ultra-virus? According to Black's Law Free Online Legal Dictionary, 2nd edition, and as I stated previously, the definition for ultra-virus is a body exercising an invalid excess or power of authority, meaning these people are operating under fraud and conspiracy, making you a corporation when you are actually a live, breathing, flesh and blood man and woman, man or woman. They are murdering our people under these laws, under civil law. Nevertheless, always remember that if you are given a ticket, which as I stated previously, is a summons, a lawsuit, you must always sign it in your Hebrew name with the words without prejudice, UCC 1-308, under threat, coercion, and duress, TCD for short. UCC stand for Uniform Commercial Code, means that you are reserving your right on a contract. UCC, reserving your rights on a contract or any paper you sign shall build the foundation for a counterclaim against those that brought the bogus and fraudulent lawsuit against us. Now I'm going to open the mic for questions. please raise your hand by tapping on the word more with 3 dots that at the bottom of your screen, and then tap the raise hand button. Shalom, Yukonin. What's up, brother?
Shalom. I got a question about that commerce word. You said like how you said it? We property of you said by overseas, like by us traveling overseas and by boat, by train, whatever, however, if we have property on us, so that makes us their property. So our property that we have on, like we go overseas and bring something back. So when we come back, that make whatever we bring back their property too.
That's right, because you know, you their property first of all, first and foremost. You their property. You're considered a corporation. You see what I'm saying? We're operating under commerce. You know, there is no real law anymore. They took, because the gold and silver was taken out of circulation. We're not operating under real law anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're operating under civil law. Even they have even converted criminal law into civil law. You know, it's criminal law supposed to be common law. You see what I'm saying? But we're operating in civil.
Yeah.
We're operating in what you call maritime law and admiralty law. So, like you said, when you go overseas, you know, it's amazing that you said something about going overseas. You know, they have brought the law of the sea on land. So everybody, when they go into court, they thinking they in a constitutional court, when actually they're in a maritime and a admiralty court. You know, so yeah, you're a corporation. We are corporations. You know, when we say that we're so-called Black African Americans, these people gave us that name. They made us corporations. You see what I'm saying? Through our birth certificate.
Yeah, that makes us one of them, part of the government.
Exactly.
Like one body.
Right. The government is a corporation. It makes it, you know, through our birth certificates, our social security cards, our driver's license. That's why when the police stop you, they always ask you for your driver's license. In the previous meetings that we had, this conference meetings, we talked about corporations. You know, we consider corporations, and they're killing us as corporations. So we got to get in our proper status. You know, we got to get back in like the Most High. When I read those scriptures about how the Most High said, if we bethink ourselves, meaning that if we rethink ourselves to who we truly are, and that's all of this is connected. The law that the man is using actually came from the Bible. You know, we got the 10 Commandments. Well, they got amendments, what they call amendments, the 10 amendments. You see what I'm saying? The first 10 amendments is what, you know, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. Those are amendments. Those amendments are for us. You know, we got to enforce that. We have to enforce that to get the benefit from it. And it's going to take many of us. It's not going to. A few of us is not going to do it. You know, that's why we have our identifications and our declarations. You know, and we're presenting it to them. We're letting them know that, you know, who we truly are. We're not corporations. You see what I'm saying? So, any more questions?
Yeah, one more. This Azrael, the brother Azrael on here.
Yeah, he on here.
Okay. I want to ask him a question.
Okay.
Can he? Well, I'm gonna ask you a question about him, about this situation. Can he take his paperwork down to the courthouse and present it to them and tell them, show them that why is they doing this to him so he can like get his stuff back? What that's called?
I'm gonna let Azrael say that to you, because everything you said, we've already done. Now, he's got multiple documents in court. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well we'll say that for later because that was like if we declared ourselves like and we know the law, we can't present it to them and tell them, hey, before y'all try anything else, this is what it is.
Shalom, y'all. First and foremost, all praise to the Most High, and I want to give apologies to everybody for running like 20 minutes late, but I try to let the elder know ahead of time. That's about what time I can squeeze in. To answer your question, brother, check. When you submit your notarized affidavit, okay, you send in your notarized affidavits, and when you send in your removals or your dismissals or your strikes, what's gonna happen is, okay, the first one time or whatever, they managed to get everybody that works inside of the municipal court to put their signatures down. But the second time, when they end up kidnapping me, they try to force a PR bond on me, and I refused to sign it. You know, it wasn't like they was trying to push me over the head or, you know, do me like that or whatever. They don't physically force me to sign, you know, I don't sign it. I said I refuse to sign it. But then if I'm forced to sign it, that's when we go ahead and we reserve our rights on the signature. But check, the next time when the paperwork was being given to me, brother, you have the clerk and you have the people that work in the municipal court. Nobody wanted to put their signature on nothing, bro. I'm talking about I got blank paper showing where the judge he don't even have his signature on it. But all they do is they have what you call a so-called date that they want me to come or whatever. And I told them I'll make a special appearance, and you know, you go through the process. Eventually, they either gonna just like really leave you alone because they already know the jig is up, that they doing something really unlawful and illegal at the same time. That's why they didn't put their signatures, bro. And you ever seen paperwork to where you giving a court date, but there's nobody signatures on it?
Praise the Most High. So it took you a time or two for them to leave you alone, and they basically what they did, they kidnapped you and stole your property.
Yeah,
and
right.
now they running. They trying to bury that paperwork deep.
Right. What they doing is they basically doing something they really don't have no business doing, and they know it, bro.
Right.
They know it. That's why, you know, no signatures from the county clerk, no signature from the judge, but it got a sworn-in date on it saying I gotta be there. I'm like, this is madness. But when after a certain period of time, I wasn't even allowed to go back into the municipal court because they don't want to deal with the paperwork. The last time I was coming there to go into the municipal court, brother, to drop the documents and do that or whatever, man, they tackled me and everything else. And then, you know, they brought me to the city, and then they sent me off to the county. And then that's when I got to the next level, starting to deal with the county. But through all of her harassment and everything, brother, through all the harassment, I broke through to where the county is like, bro, they don't want, you know, they don't want nothing to, he don't want nothing to do with it.
They don't want their higher ups to step in because they know they done already messed up.
You know, he don't want nothing to do with it. You know,
okay, what Azrael is saying is that we have filed many documents. This brother Azrael has been has been arrested many times, and he have filed documents. We have filed documents. I have given him documents to file in court, you know, and each time they have tried to, they tried to give him a bond, you know, but he said no, you know, he said no, and they let him go anyway. So what we going through, what this declaration and identifications are doing, they're actually working. But there's only a few of us. There's only a few of us. So, but if we was to get many people, if we was to get many people to get these declarations, get the identification, and bombard them with these declarations and identifications and paperwork, these people will run. That's what he's saying now. The prosecutor that he's dealing with, every time they arrest him, the prosecutor getting so tired that he's getting fed up with the judges. He's getting fed up with everybody because he knows that Azrael will not bow to them. He will not bow to them. So right now, tell them what the prosecutor did for you, Azrael. Hold on.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get to the point and close up. I just was going through the, through the steps of it with them to let them know. But they already know. They already know. Once you ask them this too, you ask them, hey, bro, have you received my notarized affidavits, man? Have you received our notarized affidavits? I'm this, I'm that. Once you declare that and that come across that table, the prosecutor was like, look, I don't want nothing to do with this. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dismiss this. Okay? I'm gonna dismiss this because the county don't have anything to do with this. This is, this is city matters, etc. But he knew already, just like I knew, or we knew, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing but harassment. And nobody wants to take the blame for it, but they're kind of willing to bring me through the process to see if I'm going to completely break, and we can't.
That's right. That's right. They know that they know that this brother is not they know he's on point. What everything I just said tonight is what he presented them on the paperwork.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't add into to tell him that, look, the prosecutor at the county, he's got to a point to where he's so fed up with it, he's getting a lawyer to go or whatever to go speak on a corporation on behalf. He's like, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm gonna get this guy to do this.
I actually spoke to that attorney you're talking about too.
Yes, sir. You spoke to that attorney.
And had his mind going, right?
Yes. I've never been taught this. I've never heard of it. This is different. Oh, I need to get re-educated. He said, I need to take some time and get re-educated.
That's right. If we could get attorneys on our side that's inside inside the jurisdiction on our side, then we'll be powerful. But like I said, but first we got to start with each other. We got to build this. We got to build it, and we're going to get powerful. We're going to get more powerful, Does anybody else have any questions? I mean, all you got to do is push the button to raise your hand, to speak. If you want to speak, if you got something you want to say, it's right at the bottom of your screen. Do you have anything else to say, Azrael? Okay, Great White. Okay, Great White. Okay, one moment. Let me get Great White. Okay, Great White, go ahead.
Shalom, brothers.
Shalom.
It was back the other day, Tuesday, and I was talking about my paperwork, that I got proof with South Carolina. It's been exposed by one judge named Judge Beatty. It was in the newspaper and all, but he's a Supreme Court judge now, a black guy. But what the whole South Carolina doing is rubber stamping these indictments. And in my case, I got proof, and I got the court calendar that the fake date they put on my indictment. It was no grand jury on that day, no court reporter, nothing. But every time somebody try to fight that issue, they try to, you know, sweep it under the rug. And I'm trying to figure out how can I articulate that, and because I got all the proof is in my paperwork. Everything they're doing is fraud.
Well, let me
You
ask
know,
you: did you have an attorney on this? Did you have attorney fighting? You know, did you have an attorney out?
when I first went to trial, I did not have. I had one of them state appointed attorneys that
A public
basically,
defender?
yeah, basically sold me out. You know, he told me personally that he ain't really want to fight for me. You know what I'm saying?
So
And
did he say anything about an appeal?
really he ain't want to file the appeal, but I had to force him to do the appeal, in which the appeal was shot down because like now I'm at the stage where I got to do another PCR post conviction relief, and I got to put everything on him, say how ineffective he was.
Right.
But it's more than he was ineffective. It's like I can show fraud inside of my trial transcript and slash my discovery, all my paperwork. I can show actual fraud where they let the police testify to lies, and how they ain't supposed to brought me to court without no probable cause.
Right.
The person that's supposed to put the statement on me, they ain't even bring in the court. It was all bogus.
Right.
But the indictments was flam indictments anyway.
Yeah. Did they try to give you give you a plea deal?
Yeah, they try to make me take that's my transcript too. He told the judge, he said, Your Honor, we tried to get him to 14 years, 85 4 times, and he still wouldn't take it, Your Honor. Like, can I please get off his case? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to let the judge know that I wouldn't take the plea. You know what I'm saying? I told the judge, I say, I want the man to fight for me. I ain't about to take no plea. Why is he not trying to fight for me? Which I knew why he wasn't trying to fight.
So you talk about post conviction complaint, right? Is that what you said? Post conviction?
Yeah, see, I keep getting these lawyers from South Carolina. See, the one I went on my first post conviction relief, you know, I'm learning law slow. So he telling me stuff and it sound good. You know, he's like, I'm not gonna put in no documents, no paperwork. I'm gonna surprise him the day we go to court. You know what I'm saying? And when he did that, he ain't raised all the issues that I found and told him to raise. So now I'm doing another PCR. I had a brother back here help me, and I'm putting in fraud and I'm putting all type of violations that they did, and I'm showing them, look, and I'm using their laws, look, and showing them, and I put little affidavits and stuff in there too, from my discovery, and showing them that they committing fraud.
Right. Right.
Cause you know that they stick together down here.
Yeah, I know they stick together everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, you know, I mean, it's always, you know, something like, you know, I get a lot of people who actually comes to me after they get in trouble, after they've been, you know, charged and they done went through the situation, you know, but you know, it's like going back and trying to deal with it, you know. I mean, you know, it's a lot of it's expensive, you know what I'm saying? It's expensive, you know, trying to get into it once it gets started. Like I said, like, you know, you could reopen the case on the grounds of new evidence, you know what I'm saying? On the grounds of fraud, on the grounds that, you know, on the grounds that you just found out that you're an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you would have to actually change everything from what you started. You know, it's going to, I mean, it's a total flip, a total different thing, the way you going about it, the way you would go about it, you know? Like, you know, I mean, what we talking about is fraud. Everything they doing, I mean, they brought a claim against you in the name of the state of South Carolina. You know, I mean, we talked about this at a previous meeting that they can't, you know, they can't bring a claim if there's no victim, there's no crime. See what I'm saying? This
Yes.
is new evidence, but you know, bringing something like this to them, you know, something they know that is right, and you trying to fight them this way, the way we talking about doing it. Oh, they gonna fight you because they don't want nobody else to know this truth. They don't want nobody to know that what they doing is fraud or conspiracy. The whole system is built on conspiracy. They're not operating in true law. You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk more about that, you know.
All praises.
All praises to the Most High. Let's see. Shalom, T. Shalom, T. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, but yeah, so I've been doing this process like the last 5 months, I think. 5 months, I think. But what I did so far, because I'm watching like YouTube videos, but this guy named Yusef, like he was telling us like we can change our status by applying for like a passport card or something like that. So that's what I did so far. So I'm just waiting on them to like ship it, because on the application, like I did a DS11. An 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it asked me like was my mom and dad like a U.S. citizen, I checked off no.
Right.
And they asked my spouse too.
But let me ask you this.
What I was thinking about okay.
Let me ask you this. Did you do that did you do that in your government name? Did you do all, are you doing all that in your government?
I haven't did a name change.
But yeah, I mean,
yes.
Okay, when you say you haven't done a name change, you don't have to go into court to change your name. You know that, right? Or you don't know?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when you change, you could change your name at will. What you call at will is common law. You know, anybody could change their name. They don't have to go into court to change their name. You don't want to do that, because what you're doing is you still giving them back to you, giving yourself back to them as if you was a corporation. See, you're trying, you want to come out of their stuff. You know, just like you said, you know, you put on the DS11 that you know your mom was not your dad and your mom was not United States citizens, because there, you know, there's two governments, right? You got there's the United States and the United States of America, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you know, the thing with that is that the reason why I asked you is because you putting your government name on there. Now you've come in contact with us. See, you still sort of like in there with them by putting your name, your government name on that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
See, you know, if you would have waited, you could have like gone ahead and went through the process, and changing your name to a Hebrew name, and then you could put that Hebrew name on there. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, but it's cool. It's cool because you can always upgrade your passport.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Okay.
You know, so you go through the process, get your Hebrew name, get your declaration, and you know, you'll get a affidavit. You know, these are documents that you will be able to send to the passport people.
Okay.
So
so when I update it, do I get another DS11?
Yeah, you would do another DS11 because once you do a name change, you're a whole new person. See what I'm saying? I mean, but you still keeping your government name too, because that's your corporation. Right now, remember what I'm talking about. Remember what I'm talking about. You are considered a corporation to them right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you work for them. You work for the government. Your driver's license is a corporate. It belongs to them. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
When they ask you for your CDL license, CDL is what it is, a commercial driver's license. See? You see what I'm saying? So you work for the government. But there's another side of you. That's the part of you what you was created by the Most High. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's what you want to get into. That's your proper status.
Okay. Okay.
You was free the day you was born. But then your mother signed the birth certificate, turned you over to the government. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is what we're
Yeah.
saying. We got to keep the government identity because we got to live.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right. 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 Because that's our remedy.
Yeah, that's our remedy. Right. That's our remedy.
Okay.
But we want to be outside the fold of government. See what I'm saying?
Got you. Mm-hmm.
We growing. We definitely growing. You know, it's gonna take all of us to come together. You know, unity is the key. Unity is the key because the more we come together, the more we'll be able to back someone else up that may find themselves in a predicament with the government. You know, we will be able to go to the government and say, hey, you got such and such one of our peoples in your facility. You know, when are you going to let them go? You know, like, because when you get into one of their facilities, you're not going to be saying that you're that government name. You're going to be saying that you're the Hebrew. You see what I'm saying? The Israelite. You know, so therefore they got they got a person in there that's saying that they're not that person. So therefore they kidnapped you. Another thing is very important. If you was to go to jail, you're not supposed to sign any documents. You know what I'm saying? Because if they take you to jail, they're gonna say, here, we want you to sign these papers. The reason why they want you to sign those papers is because they want you. They really can't have you in their facility. They want you to give them permission to take your fingerprints, which is your private property. They want to take your picture, which is your private property. And if you refuse, then there's a charge of kidnapping. See, it's just that simple. You know, they have no right to have you in their facility. Okay, Yakan, I see your hand. Let's see. What's your question?
Oh yes, about the passport. They won't let me get them because of child support.
Exactly. That's another thing. See, just like I told her, you know, there's a situation, you know, see, this is what I'm saying. They dealing with corporations. You a corporation that has to pay child support. You know what I'm saying? That's
right.
We want to get out of that stuff. The more we grow, the more we're gonna come out of this system. See what I'm saying?
Right.
The Israelites never had anything called child support. You know what I'm saying? We took care of ours. But now that we're in the predicament we in, you know, we all over the place. You know, so we got to come together. You know what I'm saying? But as far as you talking about, you know, you can't get no passport because your child support. When you get in your Hebrew name, ain't dealing with no child support, is it?
Not at all.
Okay, then that's what I just told her. You know, that's what I just explained to her. She should have waited and put her Hebrew name on that passport. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But see, I spoke to y'all about this. You know, I spoke to you and Zachariah about this. Zachariah. Yeah, I spoke to Zachariah about this. You know, I told him just hold on. I'm really excited because we know the truth. We have the truth. We know who we are. All we have to do is declare it on paper. You know, we have brothers and sisters out there on the street telling everybody who we are. But what is the next step? What is the next step? This is the next step. How you doing, Sister Octavia? How you doing? I see you showed up.
I'm doing okay.
All praises to the Most High. It's good to see you. Good to see you here. I see you made it. That's beautiful. You know, I told you I'd be looking for you.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful thing. I'm glad to see y'all because I mean this is very important. I mean it's to bring us all together. Is something to look forward to. You know, it's something to strive for our people, to put us where we're supposed to be. You know, to put us back in our true nationality. You know, it's a beautiful thing, man, and I'm very happy to see all of you. You know, and I just pray that you all keep it up. You know, because this is the end times. We are in the end times. Our captivity is over from 1619 to 2019. That was 400 years according to Genesis chapter 15 verses 13 to 14. All we looking for now, I mean, the 400 years are complete, but the other part of prophecy is Genesis chapter 15 verse 14. Now what we're doing, we're actually the Most High said he's going to judge that nation that took us into captivity. So that's basically what we're doing. We're judging these people because we're bringing the truth to them, because we know that they're prosecuting us as corporations under civil law. You know, they're not operating in the correct fold of law. We know that they're putting criminal law together with civil law. You know, they calling us corporations, and they murdering our people as corporations. So this is what this is all about. You know, the jig is up. They might as well get ready because their time is over. It's over. It's just that simple. You know. So I mean, it's getting late now. You know, I know y'all got things to do, so we're gonna wind this up, and I'm gonna say shalom to everybody. You know, I pray that you all come back on the 5th of November. That's next Tuesday, because it's going to be more good discussion in regards to how we're going to protect ourselves and how we're going to bring the rest of our people in to get protected also. You know, that's what this is all about. Does anybody else have any questions before we go?
So are you saying that we can, I mean, I have a passport because I've been allotted the opportunity to travel, but you're saying that I can get a passport with my Hebrew name on it?
Yeah, once you go through the process, we'll be working on that. We'll be working on that because, you know, you getting in your proper status, your proper Israelite status. You know, that's who you are. You're not a corporation. You know, we'll talk more about that. Okay, Octavia.
Okay.
Okay, is there any more questions? Miss Rich, I'm glad to see you here. How you doing?
She driving.
Oh, she driving?
Yeah,
You know who that is?
that's my wife.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Her phone rang, and that's something she did. She said,
Okay.
Is she driving or traveling?
Okay, so we out of here. Love y'all in the Most High. Y'all stay safe, and I see y'all again later.
all right,
Shalom.
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 Oh.
Shalom, brother.
Let the world know. World of Israel. Snap your fingers, snap them. Snap your fingers, snap them. World of Israel. Snap your fingers, snap them. Ain't nobody greater, ain't nobody greater. You say that you love him, but you won't even keep his laws to save your life. You say that you need him, but when problems arise, you try to solve it your way. You say that you wanna go back with him. I know that that's a fact. But what is the use when you won't serve him? I advise you to serve the Lord right now. The Most High is the best, best, best. Ain't nobody greater. He'll help you through your test, test, test. Ain't nobody greater. He's your God, oh yeah. He's his heart. When problems knock you down, he won't let you hit the ground. So please, please just remember this. Ain't nobody greater. You say that there's nothing wrong with breaking God's laws. You say that there's nothing wrong, and nothing bad will happen to you. But don't you know if you don't repent? But don't you know you're gonna die? But don't you know you're gonna die? But don't you know you're gonna die? But don't you know? But if you repent, but don't you know to save your life? But don't you know you're gonna rise? The Most High is the best, best, best. Ain't nobody greater. He'll help you through your test, test, test. Ain't nobody greater. He's Lord God, oh yeah. He's his heart. When problems knock you down, when it gets hard. So please, please just remember this. Ain't nobody greater. Sometimes in our lives we will make mistakes, but you gotta pray. He who overcomes will inherit all things. God says, for all have sinned and have fallen short of the glory of God. God searches the heart and He searched the mind. He treats you as you are and not what you pretend to be. The Most High is the best, best, best. Ain't nobody greater. You through your test, test, test.